Hey everyone, it's Jessica Frazier here again for our Wellness Wednesday tips. Today we're talking about grounding techniques. And grounding techniques are things that we use to help us pull away from negative or challenging emotions, or when we're feeling anxious and we start going down that rabbit hole and we start spiraling out of control. Grounding techniques help pull us back into the moment, into the here and now. Grounding techniques only work if you know how to use them before you start spiraling out of control. So, one of the most important things that you can do when taking care of yourself is to practice different grounding techniques when you're calm and when you're in a safe place and when you're just relaxed. So, now is the perfect time to start learning how to ground yourself when you are already calm and relaxed. Um, Today, we're going to talk about diaphragmatic breathing or deep breathing. Basically, deep breathing is when you breathe in all the way through your diaphragm. Lots of times when we are feeling anxious or overwhelmed or our negative emotions are spiraling out of control, we breathe up here in our shoulders. We do this sort of breath, and that is not deep breathing. Um, that's why people will give you a brown paper bag sometimes to help slow down your breaths. So, if you know how to do that for yourself, you won't need anybody to be there to support you through that moment if there's nobody there. Diaphragmatic breathing is when you breathe in slowly and deeply all the way through your diaphragm. So, one way you know if you're breathing through your diaphragm is if you feel your belly expand, or more importantly, if you can imagine your ribs expanding. So, if you put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly and just breathe normally, pay attention to what hand moves more. If your top hand is moving more, if your shoulders are moving and this hand is expanding, then you're not doing deep breathing. You want your bottom hand to be higher than your top hand. So, to do that, visualize your ribs. Where your ribs are, you want your ribs to go expand this way. Lots of times when we talk about belly breathing with little kids, we talk about your belly getting bigger, and that helps, but you also want your ribs to expand this way. So, breathe in through your nose and feel your ribs expand, and then breathe out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. That is the first step in diaphragmatic breathing. Breathing in through your nose, making your ribs expand, and out through your mouth. Now, the second part, which is the most important part, is how long you breathe for. Your goal is for your exhale to be double your inhale. Sometimes that can be hard to start. So I always tell people to breathe in for 4 first and then out for 6. After you've mastered that, then you'll do 4 and 8. The exhale is what calms your heart rate down. So if you don't breathe out for longer than you breathe in, your heart rate can't slow down and calm down. So that's the most important thing to do. After you've learned how to expand your ribs, then we want to make sure that exhale is longer. So everybody breathe in with me. And now we're going to breathe out slowly. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe out. Now, once you've mastered that, 4, 6, your goal is to get to 4, 8. Remember, the longer you exhale, the better because it's going to slow your heart rate down. So, when you can, do 4, 8. Let's breathe in, breathe out. And you will do that. Lots of times when people aren't used to diaphragmatic breathing, that can make you feel dizzy if you haven't practiced. So always start with 4, 6 and then work your way up. Then maybe do 4, 7 and then 4, 8. I don't want anybody to feel dizzy or feel like you're going to pass out. But once you have mastered that and your shoulders aren't moving, your belly is getting larger, your ribs are expanding, then Whenever you start to feel your emotions taking control of your body, you can focus on your breath. People say sometimes breathing doesn't work, but that's because we don't practice it and it doesn't become natural to go into the state of breathing to calm down whenever we need it. So, again, practice it before you need it. So, when you need it, it happens naturally. I'll tell you for me now, I never even breathe in my shoulders because I'm so used to diaphragmatic breathing that it's natural for me. But for most of us, it's natural to breathe up here. And so we have to practice until that is no longer a habit. I hope that grounding technique helps you and you're able to practice it. And please let me know if I can help you in any way. I can always sit on here with you and we can practice together until you feel comfortable doing it yourself. Have a wonderful day.